Today we are working with our split primary color wheel, and I thought I would show you how to make a split primary color wheel. This is a really good idea for you to do with your colors. A split primary palette is basically 2 yellows, 2 blues, and 2 reds, a warm and a cool version of each. And for today's demonstration, I have chosen lemon yellow as my cool yellow, nickel azo or new gamboge, either one's fine, as my warm yellow, phthalo blue as my cool blue, ultramarine blue, French ultramarine blue as my warm blue, quinacridone magenta as my cool red, and for our warm red, this is pyro red. So that being said, we'll get started. We'll put out the nickel azo. And you basically just make a little pie chart. And we want to do this full strength color up here, which is called the mass tone. And then as we move down, we want to dilute it with water so it kind of fades out. We get to see how it is at its lighter tone. So let's do our blues. For our blues, remember we had phthalo blue, which is, where's my phthalo blue? Right here. And phthalo blue is an incredibly strong staining color, so you don't need much of it. And then we have our French ultramarine. And the way we do this color wheel is we mix our way around the color wheel. And I'll explain to you what that means as we go along. So right now we're taking our phthalo blue. And I think it needs to be a little bit stronger than that. It is a very strong color. And then we'll just add a little water to it. And we will push it all the way back in here. All right, and let's do our reds. And for our reds, remember we had a very pinky red, which is quinacridone magenta. And let's go on and take that back down into here so we can see it at its most dilute form. When you mix a primary, and our primaries are yellow, blue, and red, when you mix 2 primaries together, you get what's called a secondary color. Green, violet, and orange are your secondary colors. So in order to make a green, we take the closest yellow and the closest blue on our color wheel. We take a lemon yellow and a phthalo blue. So we will take some of this lemon yellow and just a tiniest bit of phthalo blue, and you can see how quickly we get a green. And it's a bright green, because with phthalo green, you're going to get a bright green. So there we go. And then we will add some water to that. Probably be easier just to add the water and just let it lead right into there like that. It's probably the easiest way to do that. Okay. And there's our green. Now, in order to get the color in between the lemon and the green, if you mix a primary color and a secondary color, you get what's called a tertiary color. And yellow-green is a tertiary color. So if we take this yellow and we put it in this green, we are going to get a yellow-green, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. And the tertiaries are always named with the primary color first. So this would be yellow-green. So if we want to get a blue-green, blue is the primary in color. To do that, we have to add more of the blue to the green. And we get a gorgeous blue-green. This is basic color mixing. And I can't stress how important it is to learn this, because not only will it save you a fortune in buying all this tube paint you really don't need, but it also teaches you when you're looking for a certain color that you see in in your reference photo or whatever, it shows you can mix that color if you know the basics of color mixing. And color theory are just extremely, extremely important. So let's see. Let's go up and go ahead and put our pie roll in. You could use scarlet, pie roll scarlet for this color, or quinacridone red would work also. I just happen to like pie roll red because it is a true fire engine red. Okay, so we have our ultramarine blue down here, and we have our quinacridone magenta here. So if we're trying to get violet, remember, we always mix the closest primaries on the color wheel. So the closest red is the quinacridone magenta, and the closest blue is the French ultramarine blue. And if we take those two together, we get a gorgeous violet. Almost like, and you can push these, any of these colors, you can push more to the red side or more to the blue side. So you'll see that when we make our red violet here. The easiest way to push that violet to the red side, and I'll just go ahead and do it since we're right here, is to add more of the quinacridone magenta. If you want to push it to the blue side, all you have to do is add more French ultramarine blue until you get a blue violet. You can really push it into an incredibly beautiful color right there. But I got ahead of myself there, so we'll back up just a second. And we'll let that wash on out. Okay, so if we want to take this back to a true violet, we would just we would reverse it. Okay. There's our true violet again. So see, you can just go either way on the color wheel. You can just keep, there are just unlimited possibilities of what you can do here if you understand how the color wheel works. And that's a little too wet, so let's take some of that up. This is not a smooth glaze by any means. This is just giving you an idea of what we're doing. Okay, so we're going back to red violet now. So remember what we do to get a red violet. We simply add more quinacridone magenta, and we're back to a beautiful red violet. And watercolors generally dry anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40% lighter than when you put them on. So if your color wheel, if your mask color isn't as dark as you want it to be, just go back when this is dry and add another layer on top. That will give you a more of a true mask color. Okay, so now we're moving up to orange. So in order to get an orange, we take our closest yellow, which is nickel azo, and our closest red, which is pyrrole red. So here's our pyrrole red. And we're going to add nickel azo. Let me rinse my brush again. Okay, which is basically this. And I don't know if you can see that. Can you see me? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, good. We get a gorgeous orange. Okay. And doing the split primary color wheel this way gives you the truest, cleanest colors that are closest to what the actual colors on an actual color wheel. So, okay, now if we want to go more to the yellow side, remember what we do. We take our orange and we simply add more nickel azo. And when we do, okay, so if we want, our last one is red orange. So to make a red orange, we're going to take our orange, which we've lost, so let's make it again. Here's our orange. Let's get back. Oh, there we are. Okay, see how quickly we came back to that orange? Okay, just took a second. And to make a red orange, we're just going to add more pyrrole. Here we are. Now, how's that looking? Let's see. And you can tweak these as much as you want. If it's not red enough, just add more red. If it's not yellow enough, add more yellow. You know, as long as you stay next to keep these colors on either, you know, next to each other, you'll be fine. Okay. And if you want to make a muted, and we'll talk about this in another episode, but if you want to make muted colors, say you wanted to make a muted green, because this is really too bright of a green to be very useful, honestly. All you do is add its complement, which is directly across from it on the color wheel. So that's complement would be right in here somewhere. And yellow and purple are opposites. They are complements. Red and green are complements. And yellow and violet and orange and blue. Some of the most beautiful blacks you will get will come from red and green and from orange and blue. Yellow and violet don't make a good black, but they make a great brown. So there you have it. There's our split primary color wheel for you. And feel free to substitute any of these, any warm red, any cool red, you know, any colors that you might have. But the important thing is to practice this and to learn how these colors interact so that you can have better mastery over your palette. And if you like this video, please subscribe, and we will continue to make these videos that we think might be helpful.